You gotta be very careful with this hose because it can be extremely brittle and you can easily break it. Alright, so I don't have a replacement hose for this, therefore I'm not gonna risk to remove this intake pipe from here. But the point is to check the turbine, and you can do that by just moving the center. It should be able to move just a little bit, like 1 millimeter in and out, but it shouldn't move up and down, right or left. So I'm gonna tighten back this intake hose. Yeah, let's go ahead and remove this cover. Let's take out this bracket. Now we can use a regular oxygen sensor socket. And now we've got a couple of 10 millimeters around. Alright, so the first thing you want to check if this actuator is able to move, and it should go all the way. However, if this rod does move, this doesn't mean that the actuator works, so you need to unplug this vacuum line. Alright, and you can check with the vacuum pump if the actuator will move the rod. And it does. Also, it does not require too much vacuum. This is just around 13 millimeters of mercury. Alright, so let's see how the turbocharger works. We've got here the switch, as I said, and when the engine is idling, the vacuum will basically pull this lever, will keep it close. So in that way, the exhaust gases will not power the turbine, but it will go further into the catalytic converter and back onto the exhaust pipes. So once you want to increase the engine speed and the engine load will also increase, the air pressure inside the intake manifold will also increase, and therefore the vacuum is going to be weaker here, and the solenoid will close basically the communication between this point and the intake manifold, which is the source of vacuum. The exhaust gases will be diverted and they will power the turbine. This is going to happen on the hot side, and the turbine has basically two propellers, one on the hot side, one on the cold side. And obviously the propeller from the cold side will pressurize the air and it will send it further through this pipe into the intercooler. The air will get cooled down because the turbocharger will always be extremely hot. So as you can see, this whole process is controlled by this actuator. And then we've got here the blow-off valve, which will basically divert the pressurized air from the cold side in the situation when you close the throttle body and the turbocharger is still pressurizing the air. However, that air has no place to go because the throttle body is closed and you command to the engine less power, and that's the moment when the blow-off valve will be activated. So yeah, that's how the turbocharger works. It's quite a simple process and it does not require too much maintenance apart from regular oil changes. One more thing to mention is that this solenoid which activates this is gonna be under the intake manifold, so you have to do some digging to find it, or you can go under the car, remove that bottom cover, but I still don't think you can get access to it easy. So okay, so here we have the blow-off valve of the exhaust turbocharger, and then we've got the charge pressure actuator, build up vacuum. Let's see, activation occurs only once, activate. And here we go, we've got the car battery voltage basically. So it looks like the blow-off valve works. If you want to take it out, you just need a T30. You've got 3 bolts here, take it out and you're gonna see the valve moving. Now for the second bidirectional test, we're gonna need some vacuum, but I'm gonna try to reverse basically the test by connecting my hand vacuum here. So in that way, when the solenoid is gonna close, I'm gonna see if it's able to hold vacuum. Now it's at 0, this is broken. So as you can see, it's not holding any vacuum. Okay, so I'm going to activate that solenoid. Okay, but it's activated only for a short time. It's way too short, as you can see. Once I press activate, it comes back immediately. Yeah, there is not enough time for me to create enough vacuum. Now finally, let me show you some screenshots I took with the values from that air pressure sensor, because basically that sensor is going to be the feedback of the turbocharger. Okay, charge pressure, this is going to be the charge pressure before the throttle body, and this is the after throttle body. You can see here the purple line is increasing together with the engine speed, and that's a good sign. It means the turbocharger is producing the power, and this is basically what you want to see. So yeah, let's put everything back together. since in this video I'm not going to show you how to remove the turbocharger because there is nothing wrong with it. Okay, so this is the coolant line, this is a coolant line, this is an oil line, and then we've got this thick one here is also an oil line. This comes from the oil pump. So you basically disconnect all these four. As you can see, you get access to two of them here, and then you can take out this bracket, then disconnect this hose here, disconnect this bracket here and this one, and then you can take out the turbo. It's as easy as that. Hopefully you can manage that by yourself. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it I can show you about this turbocharger on this BMW. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the playlist. I've got a couple of more videos about this car. Hopefully I can make more in the future. Have a nice day, take care, and I will see you in the next video.